Hello everybody. Yes, you know, nowadays it has happened that legislators, they are extremely busy persons, they are becoming. And legislator is expected to work 24 hours. We call for government servant in India, we call that government servant is 24 hours government servant. But for legislators, without thanks, he has to work for 24 hours. That is actually because he has to attend several duties. It may be parliamentary, party persons is also there, work and constituency work is also there. And family and personal life, yes, but we don't think much about that. We can't think much about our family and personal life when we are public representatives. But sometimes it happens that they expect public or maybe the persons in our constituency, it is expected that we must work from personal things, we must help person to person also and parliamentary job also. We must help in some police business also and parliamentary works also. And every time it happens, you have to attend some marriage ceremonies, that is also expected, at least that is my experience in our constituency. The people expect that you must come to us when if there is any program, any marriage program or any other things or any some public program, he must come there, he must attend it. And if you tell no, parliament is there, how can? But no, at least Saturday you must come. So every Saturday you have to run again back to your constituency. That is my experience. And at that time, variety of legislations now coming up. And nowadays you have to have these background notes, expertise of legislators. So because we are not expert of all subjects, yes, we are expected when we go to different programs and speak something on every subject, we try to. But actually we are not expert. And the lawmaking has become very complex now. That is what I feel. You may correct me. But different interest groups, they are at play nowadays. It happens, for example, climate change related issues are there. Then GM crops, you have to think about it. Then nuclear power, you have to. Whether you should have large dams or small dams, what is necessary. So many complicated issues are there and you have to decide. There are various lobbies and they inform sometimes good things, but sometimes they misinform also according to their objectives, according to their interests. That also happens. And so public representatives, we have to strike balance between various interest groups. We have to, because our aim is to have public interest to our constituency, to our nation, mostly related, we have to think. So sometimes it happens that environment protection versus development, poverty versus progress, to which you have to give much more time or you have to think. Sometimes it happens that short-term inconvenience versus long-term benefits, that is also there. And as a public representative, you have to think. Then this age of technology, and now this you can say globalization or something, rapid changes in the world, they are taking place. And so role and responsibilities of government and legislators, that is expanding. So what to do now? We have certain lifestyle also, certain practices also. So it is not easy to convince the change. That is also there that we have to do. In India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he has taken several bold steps, bold decisions, like demonetization, like digital India, like biggest ever tax system reform, that is GST, goods and service tax. All these have no doubt short-term inconvenience, but it may have long-term benefits to public also. So how to do it? We can do it? I have seen, but we have to be more, what I can say, we must act more. And if we are well informed, what is the program, how we have to, what public says about it. And I have seen in my constituency how you can involve public groups. If you can involve public groups, there are so many NGOs and so many things. And if you act lively, the things go smooth. Sometimes it happens. You know, our Prime Minister had given that thing, Clean India, Clean City, Clean India. How to do it? It is not possible to do it in only that some corporation working or something like that. In my constituency, I started working on it. I gathered some NGOs, then public awareness and all these things. And you know, it has happened that my constituency, Indore, is now a cleanest city, #1 city in India. It has happened because we have to work for that. We must know. But yes, again, how to? If you have to make some law, you are not expert on that. How you can do it? In our parliament, we have, yes, library research service is also there, and it helps. We call it LARDIS. LARDIS means library, research, reference, documentation, and informative service. We have in our parliament this LARDIS one section, you can say. There are research officers also, and parliamentarians need factual information, comparative data, and then arguments, pros and cons, both they want. Analytical and interceptive notes also they want. From LARDIS, yes, we give some notes on this. If there is any act we have to do, any bill is there we have to pass, you can give LARDIS some note and you get all these things. So, but sometimes it happens that what more? Because the division brings out brochures, our LARDIS, they do information bulletins, background and research notes, all this is there. So existing research infrastructure provides the information by a way of collating from published sources. They do that. But again I realized that no, members need something more, something different, because level of input should be more with regard to policy issues and other matters of national concern. Because sometimes it happens, LARDIS give you notes on something, but again you have to think what public perception is there, what some domain experts say about that thing. And for that, so I started, when I became speaker, I started Speakers Research Initiative. In that SRI we call it, and it has been launched. So there you can get additional research support to members. Means we call domain experts. They may have different views. They may have think about differently. But yes, they must come before members and they tell what they think about it. For example, I can give you this goods and service tax. Some members say it is a good thing. Some domain experts, yes, it is a good thing. It will have a good effect. Some say no. For small scale industries, it is not proper, something like that. So we called domain experts from small scale industries also. Some persons who are experts in the GST, some economists, all other people. And then we have a dialogue with our parliament members in this SRI, we call this Speakers Research Initiative, and members can ask questions to those experts also. It happens. You know, another thing I may be little bit, I take longer time, but what I am explaining is, you know, in 1965, in India, there was before that, very great drought was there. And at that time, it was thought that no, we must do something. What can be done? We call it Green Revolution. We did it, taking help of so many countries and all these things. And at that time, how we can increase production. That was the only thing was thought of. How we can increase production. And for that, you know, chemical fertilizers, this and that, new technique, we started doing it. Now it has become that our soil, in so many places, our soil has become, I should not use such words for the soil, but yes, it has become rotten. It can't give you yield. And not only that, the chemical fertilizers is going down and down in our soil, and also it is going into water of tubules and something. Through that water, it is coming up again. So now again, we have started thinking what to do for this, how it can be. So some people say, yes, organic farming, because in India, 80% we depend on farming. So some people say, no, organic farming should be there. So now whether organic farming, mechanical farming, what to do? We have different kinds of farmers. Some have only some small piece of land. Some have a great big land. How to do? So all this discussion in SRI, we do it. How we can do it. And that's why when government introduced so many bills, and about that, in this SRI, we do that people come there, they keep before the parliament members that this is the situation. Now you select it. So like that domain experts, we do it. Another thing, what we have more focused even, we have now decided to form SDG group, because now Sustainable Development Goals. For that we have formed SDG groups. We have given our members, you tell in which group you want to work. There are these 16 subjects in which you want to. And forming such group, now we will have group discussions. How can it be? That is what we are doing there. Then research staff needs, again one thing is there, not only SRI, but now this research staff of our parliament also, they need effective training, skill updating to deepen knowledge and expertise. And they also must have exposure to other parliament research services, and events would help in knowledge sharing, adoption of best practices. All this should be there. Then what to do? We have Bureau of Parliamentary Studies and Training we have in our parliament, and this bureau, I think this bureau is working so hard. So our some research scholars, we send them to different countries and they get training there, and they come back, whatever practices are happening, we share the practices there also. Again, our BPST, we call it, they have organized 86 study visits to different countries, customized programs for various countries, wherein 1,486 delegates, they have participated. We have other members from so many countries, they come to India also. We give them training, we have a dialogue with them so that we can understand whatever is happening to all over the world, and also they understand how to work. So all these research scholars, these parliament members and officers, we organize some sort of study in our BPST, and like that we are working in India. We have, you can say, for strengthening parliamentary research and effective functioning, because after all we are lawmakers. We have to see public policies also, for public goods. So when we are working for public, we are working for our nation, but not only nowadays it has happened, we are not only working for our nation, but we have to have relation globally, because there is, we can, nowadays we say that environment or climate change, something, so many subjects are there, we have to think globally also. And for these three things, our LARDIs, our SRI, Speakers Research Initiative, our BPST, plus our Indian group, we have Indian group of parliamentarians, ex-parliamentarians, we take their help also, and our legislators also, state legislators also, those groups together we work. And I think with that, a very little, definitely I can understand, a very little, because we parliament members, we don't get much time to read. Sometimes I used to say when I go to my constituency, I'm uneducated because I don't get time to read. Even the paper, newspaper in the morning, little bit I see, and I have to go somewhere. I just don't know, maybe in your constituency also the same thing. From morning to evening, you have to run door to door or village to village. You have to go and you have to see what problems our villagers, our constituency people have. When we come to parliament, yes, we are educated. We have to make law. We have to see policies. You have to see international policy. You have to attend international things like this. So these two, I can say, things in our life we have to accustom to this. But for that, these three things are there in our Indian Parliament. We are trying hard for that. And also when our Parliament members come there, we have delegations and we have a dialogue with other countries and other Parliament members. Definitely that also serves. Like that we try. I'm quite sure we are not doing much. You must be doing much more than that, but today we will discuss on it and we will do it early. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Speaker Mahajan, for that informative address on the importance of appropriate parliamentary research processes, resources.